Hello and welcome. I'm Jesse Boyko and this is Inside the Silver Screen, where we just take a movie that I've most recently seen and we talk about it. So if you've already seen it, that's perfect. Let's talk together, and if not, don't worry, there's not going to be any spoilers or anything like that. So the movie we're talking about today is The Avengers.
How desperate are you? Did you call on such lost creatures to defend you?
You have made me very desperate.
Oh, sweet mercy, I've waited for this movie for months, and it's so great to finally see it. I love all the characters, I grew up with them, read so many of the different story arcs, and it's so great to finally see it in the big screen. And it stars Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Jeremy Renner, Tom Hiddleston, and Samuel L. Jackson. It's written and directed by the one and only Joss Whedon, the same man behind such creations as Firefly, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dollhouse, and the movie Serenity. And Firefly is among the best sci-fi shows ever created, like, ever. So they left it in very capable hands. The synopsis, if you don't know already, is Nick Fury from S.H.I.E.L.D. puts together a group of superhumans to save the Earth against Loki and his army. Since 2008, they've been leading up to this movie with Iron Man, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor, and Captain America. And each movie is a must-see on its own, not only because the plot of Avengers directly ties into those movies, but also because each movie provides a basis for you to get to know the character individually, because the Avengers does not do that. Once Avengers start, they assume you've already been invested and attached to everyone in it. Needless to say, there's a whole bunch of pressure to make it the epic movie tie-in that it's supposed to be, and epic it is. There's so much action in this movie, and better than that, every scene of action is completely different from the last. The action with Black Widow, for instance, is completely different than the action with Thor, and Joss Whedon creates a 2.5-hour movie that's exciting from start to finish. And more than that, even when there's not action, it's still gripping because of the actors and the characters that they play. Joss Whedon creates a dialogue and manages characters in such a way that every time they talk, you have yourself thinking like, oh, that Iron Man, silly Iron Man, or that Thor, Mr. Thor. And it's great in that capacity. And that, combined with the charisma and the abilities of the actors such as Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth, makes the delicious concoction of creativity. The juggling of the characters is an amazing feat in the movie that I think Joss Whedon does fantastically well. No character is left out, and every time they're on the scene, they are relevant in the scene. They need to be there for that moment, and that's fantastic. Now, I was a little skeptical of having Mark Ruffalo take over for Edward Norton as the Hulk, but that was stupid of me because he's amazing as the Hulk, and the Hulk makes the movie. He's great as Bruce Banner, all his mannerisms and his gestures are great, and he's great as the Hulk. And it's incredible to think that he put on the motion capture suit, so every time you see the action of a Hulk, or a movement, or the way he stands, you're actually seeing Mark Ruffalo portray the Hulk, and that is amazing. Now, the only criticism I can really give, for me, was Cobie Smulders. Now, it's not that I don't like her, it's just that anytime I saw her as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, I didn't see a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, I just saw Robin Scherbatsky. Like, you should be saying the news somewhere. You hurt Ted. But that was it. And that's a very small criticism when you think of the grand scheme of things. So, if you haven't seen this movie, go watch it, or shame on you, shame on your family, and shame on your offspring. For like 3 generations. Now, if you have seen the movie, let me know what you think in a comment down below, and tell me who was your favorite Avenger in the movie. Thank you so much for watching, I'll see you next week.